Hello, mothers raising teen daughters. This is Kiana Shaw, CEO of Lead Hership Academy and the creator of this wonderful group, Mothers Raising Teen Daughters. I'm excited to be going live. I feel like I haven't gone live much this year, and for various reasons, but mostly just because of time. But I wanted to make sure that I was supporting you all during this COVID-19. I think last week I checked in just to see how you all were doing. If you could do me a favor, because I usually am not on my earpiece when I do the live. So if you can hear me, can you just drop a heart or just say yes or something? I see that people are in the room, but it doesn't tell me it doesn't tell me who. It just says how many. So if you guys can drop it out. I don't know if you guys or you moms are doing this, but I have like completely abandoned any makeup, any earrings. Like my hair is braided just because, but it's time to come down. I'm just not willing to do it. I'm like, why? Who do I have to impress? So I am sticking to as natural as I possibly can. Let me mute my phone real quick so that we're not getting interrupted. So if you can hear me, please drop a comment, a heart or something so that I can know. And that would be great. I wanted to pop on and give some tips on surviving. I should have sat in the sun. There's no chair out here. I wanted to give some tips on surviving your daughter's attitude during this COVID-19. Like, it's one thing to be surviving a national pandemic. It's another thing to add your daughter's attitude on top of it. Like, it's like at one point you just like, God, something has to give. It's going to be either COVID or her attitude, right? And so I just wanted to pop on and give a couple of tips. So tip number one is be consistent. Now, a lot of you have not been consistent from birth until now. And so it's kind of difficult to catch up. But this is a great time right now to reconnect with your daughter, reestablish the boundaries that you have, particularly if you are not out working still, if you're working from home, or if you are if you're just not working at all right now. This is a great time to reestablish your parental control, your parental authority, and make sure that your daughter understands that you will be consistent from here on out, right? And so what that looks like is, I'm trying to flip my camera around because it's such a beautiful bird, but now he's gone. Okay. It was such a beautiful bird. So anyway, so being consistent, this is a great time to establish that. So my first tip is just be consistent and let your daughters know, your teenagers know exactly what the new rules are, right? Or to reinforce the old rules, because some of your rules are working, you're just not consistent. And so when you're not consistent, your daughters are like, I don't have to listen. Like, she's only gonna be mad for a little while. She's gonna fuss, she's gonna cuss, she's gonna, get mad, but she'll be fine, we'll be fine. Eventually she's gonna give in. If I get mad at her, she'll give in. You have to be consistent. That was probably the best parenting advice that my mother ever gave me, was you have to get your bluff in by the time they turn 5, because after that, they know all your secrets, right? And so making sure that you have your consistency within yourself. Now, so here's the thing. We have a tendency as moms to give in based on what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to get homework done. We're trying to get work done. So it's just kind of easier to say yes so that they can get out your face. It's not the way to go. It's not the way to go. You have to make sure that your daughters are respecting the boundaries. So now that tip number one was be consistent. Any questions so far? If you have a question, if you have a comment, you want to drop something in the chat, that's perfectly fine. I would love it. And I suddenly have forgotten my tip number 2, but that's okay. Okay, so I'll move on to the next one. So, and this actually might be more than 3. I don't know. We'll see. So the next tip is stop picking your battles. I hear that all the time. Oh, pick your battles, pick your battles, pick your battles. You don't have battles with people who don't have the ability to control anything. Nobody goes to battle with someone unless they're trying to take something or give something. Like it has to be an exchange of power. There's no exchange of power with someone that you are taking care of. So you don't have to pick your battles. If the rule is no, then it's no. Right? Now, will your daughter have an attitude? Well, your teenager, not just your daughters, because this can go for boys too. Will they have an attitude? Yes. How do you get that attitude to go away? You be consistent. Eventually, they will understand this is just the way it is. This is just the way it is. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are not picking battles. And I see that phrase thrown around in threads here all the time. And I think that if you get to a point where you're picking battles, you've already lost. That's just my personal opinion. You've already lost if you're picking a battle. Again, you know, I say this all the time, jokingly, but seriously, don't negotiate with terrorists. And your teenagers will show up and they will terrorize your house. They will terrorize your marriage in an effort to get their way. Right? And their attitudes are the biggest way. That's their biggest weapon. You have to make sure that you are that you're holding them accountable to their behavior, right? And then the next thing, stop with the negotiations. As I hear my 6-year-old screaming my name. Stop with the negotiations. Your ability to hold the line as a parent should never waver. So what that looks like is a lot of times, you know, let's say your kid wants to go to an amusement park, Magic Mountain for, you know, I'm in LA, so Magic Mountain or Disneyland or Six Flags, I think is the universal name for Magic Mountain. So they want to go to Six Flags or Disneyland. And so their statement is, if you let me do this, if you let me go to Disneyland, then I will clean the house. I will watch my little siblings. I will. That's not the conversation. The conversation is, don't even ask me if you can go do X, Y, and Z. You don't even ask me if you can go to Magic Mountain. Don't ask me if you can go do all these things if you have not done the cleaning of the house, the making sure that the kitchen is done, that your room is clean. You have to stop negotiating. You have to stop negotiating. They don't have any power. You have to be consistent. You have to stop negotiating. And then I forgot what the other one was. I should have wrote them down. But if you're going to survive their attitude, you have to establish that you are the authority in the house. That's it. That's all. There cannot be any wavering about whether or not you're in charge or they're in charge. Their attitude cannot dictate how you run your home. And a lot of us will go, well, it's just easier. I just don't feel like dealing with her attitude. I just don't feel like, seeing her roll her eyes or hearing her huff and puff, or like, I remember my mom saying, you can't sit at my table mad. Get up. Go in your room. Leave your plate. You can't eat my food, Matt. And I think that so many of you feel like if you say that, your kids are going to be upset with you, and then that's going to cause a bigger problem. No way. You can't sit at my table and enjoy my luxuries and give me attitude. You can't watch my cable. You can't use my internet. You can't do any of that and give me attitude. You need to be consistent. You need to establish that you are the authority in your home. When you have that mindset that you have to negotiate with your children, you have to do X, Y, and Z. Is that Kayla?
Their computer.
It froze?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll be there in just a second.
Oh.
My daughter's homeschooling and her teacher is on, and something happened with the computer. But I wanted to be clear about that. So I can come back later. Just make sure that you are being consistent, that you're not negotiating, right? And that you are setting your standard. Don't waver. All right. So hopefully this helps someone. Hopefully it helps you all, actually, go through your COVID-19 survival. Maybe I should create a guide. I don't know. I just feel like right now I'm gonna go take a nap after this though. But maybe if you guys have questions, throw them in here. If you disagree, agree. That's okay. Thank you so much for the thumbs up and the hearts. I appreciate it. And I'll talk to you all soon. Gonna go do some mommy stuff. All right. Thought I was gonna catch a break for a minute. Nope. See you later.